Hello, 6th graders. Welcome to Big Ideas Math, Contract Math, Section 3.3, 2012 edition, Proportions Activity. Pause while you write Section 3.3, 2012 Activity in your math notebook. Pause again while you write today's activity objective in your math notebook. Today's activity objective is to reason whether two ratios are equivalent or not. Please copy the following vocabulary terms, definitions, and examples exactly as they appear into your notebook. Proportion is an equation stating that two ratios are equivalent. Proportional is two quantities that form a proportion are proportional. So there's some examples down below for you. Cross products. In the proportion A over B equals C over D, where B is not 0 and D is not 0, the products A times D and B times C are called cross products. Today we'll be working on page 63 in the Record and Practice Journal. Our directions are to tell whether the two ratios are equivalent. If they are not equivalent, we need to change the second day to make the ratios equivalent and explain our reasoning. So let's start with letter A. On the first day, we pay $5 for 2 boxes of popcorn. The next day, we pay $7.50 for 3 boxes. So the question is, are we paying the same amount for each box of popcorn? So one way to find out is to divide $5 by 2, and when we do that, we get $2.50 per box. And then if we paid $7.50 per box, we would divide that by 3, and when we do that, we also get $2.50 per box. So they are equivalent. Letter B, on the first day, it takes you 3 hours to drive 135 miles. The next day, it takes you 5 hours to drive 200 miles. So another way to decide if these two ratios or two fractions are equivalent is to use cross products. So we would multiply across our ratios. So 3 times 200 equals 600, and 135 times 5 is equal to 675. So these are not equivalent. So we drove 75 miles fewer on day 1, on the first day, than we did on the second day. So in order to fix that, one way to fix that is to think about your 75 miles and realize that on the first day you had 3 hours to divide 75 by. So the missing 75 miles that you need to make up. So 75 divided by 3 is 25. So if you add that 25 onto your 200 miles, then you end up with 225 miles. So if you would drive 25 extra miles on the second day, then you would have your equivalent fraction. So you would need to change your next day miles to 225. So 5 hours to drive 200 225 miles. Let's take a look at letter C. On the first day, you walk 4 miles and burn 300 calories. On the second day, you walk 3 miles and burn 225 calories. So I'm going to use the cross products method to see if this is equivalent. 3 miles times 300 calories is 900, and 225 times 4 is 900. So these two are equivalent. Your assignment for this lesson is to complete Part D of Activity 1 on page 63 of your Record and Practice Journal. Please be prepared to share during our next class and, of course, show your work. Remember, to earn credit for viewing this flipped lesson, you need to complete your exit slip, come to our next class prepared with the journal pages or other work from the flipped lesson completed, be prepared with any work that was assigned in the flipped lesson completed, and be prepared with any questions you have for your teacher, and of course, have a good attitude.